Hello, beautiful people. Happy Sunday. It is so very good to be here with you as we gather together on this Sunday morning to celebrate the magnificence and significance of the presence and power of God operating in, through, and as you, in, through, and as each and every one of us. We are going to begin, as we always do, with prayer, and we're going to share a reading today. I want to share today's reading from the Daily Word, powerful word. The word today is prosperity, and the affirmation: my prosperity is unlimited. I claim my good now. After King Darius hauled an unbitten Daniel from the lion's den, the king wrote to other nations to praise the divine power that delivered this Hebrew prophet by taming hungry beasts. Overcome by divine goodness, Darius prayed for abundant prosperity among the people of the ancient world. Today, the lions I face may be rising prices when shopping and greater costs for basic needs. Even in that den of apparent lack, my prosperity is unlimited. In prayer, I claim my good, grateful to live in an abundant universe. I pray that cooperative interaction with others who are seeking their own prosperity brings an end to poverty and establishes world peace. I claim prosperity for myself and all others. Again, the affirmation: my prosperity is unlimited. I claim my good now. So from this place of awareness, I invite you to get still, to close your eyes, and let's take a conscious breath in together. And we exhale, bringing the focus of our attention here and now. We breathe in and we breathe out. Because the breath is free, we take another prosperous breath in and a prosperous breath out. There is only one mind, only one power, only one presence that is working in all, through all, and as all. There is one divine wisdom, one divine intelligence, one divine good, one divine love. That life, it is my life now. That life, it is your life now. It is perfect, whole, and complete. And it is the life of all. It is, and it is here now. It is the life of the wind. It is the life of the wave. It is the life of the ocean. It is the life of the mountain. It is the life of the river, the sea, the lake, the pond, the stream. It is the life of all. And it is my life now, and it is your life now. As we recognize that the power and presence of God is, we recognize that it neither comes nor goes. It is always now, and always here, and always now, and always here. Divine love is here now. Divine good is here now. Divine healing is here now. Prospering power is right here, right now. And as I remember and recognize that the presence is and is now, I know that that space that you occupy right now is divine. It is sacred. It is holy. It is filled and overflowing with God. The space that I occupy right here and right now, it is divine. It is sacred. It is holy. It is filled and overflowing with the presence and power of God. And so as we recognize where we live, move, and have our being, recognizing that we live, move, and have our being in this presence that I choose to call Mother, Father, God today, I also know that God lives, moves, and has its expression, its activity in, through, and as each and every one of us. For we are one with God and one of God, divine, unique, undivided, particularized expressions of the all in all. That means that we have great power. That means that you have great possibility. That means that we are worthy. That means that we are sinless. That means that we are sacred. That means that we are loved beyond compare. And that means in truth, we are prosperous now. So from this place of awareness, I now speak this word on behalf of myself and every soul that is listening and will listen at any point in time in the future, that this prayer is played or presented. For as we gather together here for the weekend service, we gather together in gratitude. As we gather together for the weekend service, we gather together knowing that we will be enlightened and enlivened, knowing that we will prosper, knowing that we will expand, knowing that we will experience a greater expression of the truth of who and what we are. We now open our hearts and our minds to receive the words of truth. We now open our hearts and our minds with gratitude, knowing that there is something greater that is seeking to express in, through, and as us. We say yes to it. We let it be. We say yes to it. We let it be. We say yes to it. We let it be. And so from this place of awareness, I now release the prayer. I release it back into the law, which is always in operation, responding and becoming according to the pattern of thought that we provide. It is good and it is done. So from this place of awareness, with confidence and expectation, we say amen.
Amen.
Ashe.
Ashe.
And so it is.
So it is.
So it is, and so it must be. Well, hello, happy Sunday. I'm Pastor Greg.
I'm Pastor Yolanda.
We are so happy to be here with you on another Sunday as we continue to move through this beautiful summertime experience, as we continue to move through our wonderful and powerful masterclass experience. If you are a first-time guest, hello, welcome. We're so happy that something or someone brought you to this stream today, and we're confident that something will be done, something will be said that will support you in living an empowered life and thriving in your life. Now, if you would like to, you can let us know in the comments where you're connecting in from, your city, your state, your country. You may find that there are others connected right where you are, and so you know that you're not alone, but that's not required. One of the things we love to say here at CSC is the first time you come to CSC, you're a guest, but when you come back, you're family. And so we would love to stay in touch with you, and we would love for you to stay in touch with us. So the information you see here on your screen is how you do that. Just text the keyword welcome to that phone number, 347-472-1078. Just the keyword is all that's needed. You'll receive a response with a link. That link takes you to the digital connection card. Enter your information. We just need your name and your email address. Submit that. You'll receive a follow-up text that says you're all set, and indeed, at that point, you are. You'll receive our weekly email that goes out on Fridays and all other correspondence that we send out to the CSC community. And again, it's your way to stay in touch with us or reach out to us if that is needed. We're happy that you're here, and we're excited about what you will receive. So from this place of awareness is a wonderful opportunity for us to move into our news and updates so that we can move forward with the meditation and with this week's class. Do you have big questions? If you have big questions, then bring them to the God Talk. It is the third Sunday, which means it is God Talk Sunday. What is the God Talk? The God Talk is your opportunity to ask questions. What we know to be true is as you are walking this new thought metaphysical path, it is really a path of unlearning. It is a path of releasing so many things that did not serve you in the past. It is the opportunity to add the light of awareness to things that you may have heard or learned in the past that were not 100% accurate. And so the God Talk is that place to have that dialogue, to ask the questions so that you can thrive in your life. Additionally, if you've been walking this path for quite some time, we know that there's support that's needed, right? You may have experienced so many wonderful things, and now you're in a moment of challenge. Now you've hit a stumbling block, and you're not sure how to apply the teachings to what you're experiencing in your life. And so PY and I are here to support you in doing just that. The God Talk is not spiritual counseling. It is not therapy, but it is a real, raw, loving, healing space that will transform you just by your attendance, even if you don't ask a question. But in order to ask a question, you have to be in the room. And so we gather together on Zoom. It'll be after service today at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're already on our mailing list, then just go to the Friday newsletter. The link and information is there. If you're not on our mailing list and you're interested, you'll see it again later in the stream. Just text welcome to that phone number that I shared earlier, 347-472-1078. Enter your information, and the Zoom link information will be emailed to you. But again, you'll see that information again. Also, if you have access to the Church Center app, if you've downloaded that, I'm going to share with you how to do that. The God Talk information is there as well for your quick and easy access. So we look forward to you all joining us at 1 p.m. for the God Talk. Next Sunday is the fourth Sunday. It is Healing Sunday. Prayer is working at CSC, and we are so happy and excited and elated to continue to hold space and consciousness around healing in our community. We heard about 2 successful surgeries recently within our community. We know that there is healing happening in so many different ways, and we continue to know that healing is your birthright, that it's possible and it's available to us all. So if you're in need of healing, you should be here for the Healing Sunday prayer next Sunday. If you know someone that's in need of healing, invite them to be here for the prayer. And of course, if you want to stand in proxy for someone, you can do that as well. The fifth Sunday of this month is Labor Day weekend. CSC will be closed for the holiday weekend, so we will not be streaming live on August 31st. But of course, then we'll be back in September to begin moving into the fall experience, to begin a new sermon series and so many other wonderful things. We trust that you will enjoy that holiday weekend in a way that you see fit, in a way that is beneficial, loving, and life-giving to you. I just mentioned the Church Center app, and I hope that you already have it on your phone. Of course, if you've been taking classes at CSC over the last couple years, or definitely if you're in the Prosperity Circle, you have the Church Center app on your phone and on any other devices. This is a beautiful and powerful way to stay in touch with CSC, with the CSC community. There's a giving platform as well that you can give, also stay up to date on events, access pertinent information, and even register for classes and events. You go to the URL you see there on your screen, celebrationsc.churchcenter.com/setup, or you can search directly in the Google Play Store or the App Store. If you prefer, you can screenshot or scan this QR code, which will take you directly there to download the Church Center app. This is an extension of our website, but also I think even more convenient than our website, because you can access it on your phone easily and effortlessly. And again, there are ways to connect with the CSC community now. There will be more ways to do that. You can also even stream the service in the Church Center app. If you have a prayer request, we encourage you to send that prayer request in to prayerchampions@celebrationsc.org. We are always holding the entire community in our hearts and our minds, knowing the highest and best for each and every one of you. And we recognize that you may have a specific prayer request for yourself, or you may want to put someone else's name in. All good. Send that in again to prayerchampions@celebrationsc.org, and we will hold the highest knowing for them or for you, knowing that prayer works, prayer is easy, and prayer is always being answered. Every Wednesday morning, we gather together for the Momentum Prayer Call. That happens at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Momentum Prayer Call is a powerful way to continue the momentum that we create here on Sundays. It is also a wonderful way to jumpstart the momentum of your day in the middle of the week as you begin your Wednesday morning with intention, knowing that God is paying attention to what you're paying attention to. And so we get definite with the infinite. We share a reading, we pray, we move on with our day. If for some reason you're unable to be with us live on Wednesday morning, you can always use the playback number, enter the access code, and the most recent prayer will play. We record every prayer. So that means that you have access to the power of prayer 24/7. If you ever find yourself in need of prayer, if you ever find yourself wanting to hear the words of truth, to speak to your mind and shift your consciousness, use the playback number, enter the access code, and wait, and the most recent prayer will play. As I mentioned earlier, and this is for our first-time guests, we are in masterclass mode. We've been spending this summer studying the book, Open Your Mind to Prosperity. And so we encourage everyone to get the book. If you have not gotten this book yet, if it's not in your library, get it now. It's available in print and digital formats. You do not need to have a copy of the book today, because we will be sharing the book on the screen as we move through the text line by line, page by page. But it is a book that you want to have in your library. It is a book that you're going to want to refer back to many times, so that you can indeed open your mind to prosperity. Our companion series for the month that taps into and reinforces the ideas of prosperity consciousness that we're studying are the 7 Habits of Prosperous People. You can access this on the homepage of our YouTube channel. This is a powerful series that I think really answers the question, what next? Right? Because as we only have next week as our final week actually of this masterclass. How do you continue the momentum that we've created this summer? How do you continue to practice what we have been studying together? And so it's really about now making it a habit. And so this sermon series breaks down the 7 habits that you need to practice on a lifetime basis to continue to live as a prosperous person. Now, as we are nearing the end of this series, we want to hear from you. There are so many that are in the prosperity circle that have been sharing powerful things, but we know that in addition to the prosperity circle, there are so many wonderful things happening in the community as a result of studying this text together. Your journey could be the inspiration someone else needs to take the leap toward their own prosperity. And we want to share these stories next week. So we encourage you to send that in. If you can go to our website, celebrationsc.org/register. You'll see the button there. It'll take you to the form, or you can use the QR code. There's 3 simple questions that we ask that you can sort of stir your mind and prompt you to share how you've expanded, right? Maybe it's something specific, a specific demonstration, a specific manifestation of finances or healing. But it could also be a mental shift, right? It could also be something that's shifted in a relationship with a loved one or a family member. So many prosperous outcomes that we've been reading about in this masterclass. I know that it is being experienced in our community. And so we want to hear those stories, and we want to be able to share those stories next week and celebrate as a community, knowing that we've been doing something powerful together and co-creating together. And that concludes our news and updates for this Sunday. And so now we have the opportunity, the necessary time to go within as we are led in the meditation experience with PY.
Yes, it is time for the meditation experience, our shared opportunity to let go of the external world and go within. As I like to say, you can read all the sacred text, and we encourage it, obviously. But it is only through your direct experience of the God within you, for yourself, that you know without a shadow of a doubt the things you're reading are true, are real, are life-giving. And so we take time every Sunday to do just that, to let go of the external world and all of the impact that it can have on our nervous system, and go deep within where God resides and has never left. PG said it, you are divine. And that means that wherever you are, that divine love, that God essence is available. And guess what? It's prospering you right now with every breath. Every ounce of blood flowing through your veins is an example of divine love prospering you. I love this image. It reminds me, as you look off in the distance, of what is coming to you. The waves, they're gently coming forward. And that's how divine love operates. It comes to you. It sees where you are in worry, doubt, and fear, and it brings that energy and vibration of love so that you can prosper. It comes to you. So in our minds and in our hearts, we're standing on the shore, receiving. We're standing on the shore, allowing divine love to move about our feet, to feel that energy and that connection to the earth beneath us, and the energy of life flowing to us. Divine love prospers. It prosperouses everything now. And so we take time today to imagine ourselves on the shore with our feet in the sand, with the gentle warm waves lapping at our feet, and let divine love prosper us now. Are you ready? Let's begin. Take a minute and look around the room. Notice where you are. Allow your feet to be nice and easy, making contact with the floor. And if you imagine the sand or the earth beneath you, that is fine. Plant the palms on the tops of the thighs. And look around the room briefly so that you are present here and now. The energy is moving towards you, not away from you. Divine love prospers you now, right where you are. So let's get in receptive mode. Allow the eyelids to close. And since we've allowed the eyelids to close, we've chosen to go within and focus on the breath right where it is. And whether the breath appears to be deep or appears to be shallow, it matters not. Just like the waves of the ocean are moving, we know that the breath is flowing and moving. And so we make no judgment of it. We just allow the breath to be, animating our bodies and relaxing us more and more. Beautiful, everyone. Now let's take conscious control of the breath, shall we? Let's send our focus of attention, our awareness, and our breath deep into the low belly. And we're going to inhale for a count of 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and then sink deeper and deeper into the awareness of love's presence, divine love right here and now for 4. Let's begin. Inhale. And hold. Relax the jaw. Let yourself hear and feel the release. Sigh it out. Sinking deeper in mind, sinking deeper into the chair where you're seated or the sofa. Relaxing more and more. Inhale into the low belly again, expanding and dropping the breath nice and deep. Hold for 4. Relax the jaw, nice and easy. Let yourself hear and feel the release. Sigh it out. Sinking deeper in mind, allowing the divine love to prosper you now. In through the low belly, allow the breath to rise, expanding the sides of the rib cage. Now hold for 4. And sigh it out. Let it all go. Relaxing, sinking deeper, releasing more, relaxing more. In through the low belly, up through the rib cage, we've expanded the sides of the body, made more room for breath. Now let's send the breath into the back and the front of our bodies. Hold for 4. And when you're ready, relax the jaw. And sigh it out. And allow divine love to reach you as you relax more and more and more. In through the low belly as we expand the breath, up through the rib cage, and allowing the breath to make its way to the heart chakra, center of the chest. That radiant energy of the subtle body that's located at the center of the chest. Hold it there. And relax the jaw, and without collapsing the body, just release the breath. Sigh it out. And as the sigh trails off, let yourself relax into the seat where you are, sinking deeper in mind, falling more in love with the divine, deeper and deeper. In through the low belly, up through the rib cage. We're connecting the breath. We're allowing the breath to rise and fill up the entire body. When you reach the top, hold there. Relax the jaw and give yourself permission to relax as you sigh it out. Sinking deeper and deeper and deeper. It feels good to relax in our bodies. It feels good to be open and available to prosperity. It feels good right now. Let's slow the breath down and experience it for a count of 6. Inhaling through the nostrils, but this time closing the lips. Holding for 6. And when you're ready, exhaling through the nostrils for 6. And then taking that time, allowing the body to relax and sink deeper for 6. Let's begin. Breathing in for 6. Welcoming the breath through the nostrils. Holding, letting the energy build in the body. Closing the lips and exhaling nice and easy through the nostrils. Slows everything way down. And sink deeper for 6. Prosperity flows on the breath, so take this time to practice a few rounds on your own. Beautiful, everyone. Now scan your body and notice without judgment, only compassion. If there's any tension anywhere. Is there tension in the crown or the forehead or the temples maybe? Or even the eyes and the eye sockets? Relax them. Letting that energy of relaxation flow down the arms, out the fingertips, actually down the spine, and then out the legs and out the toes. Right where you are, divine love is, and it's holding you. So let it prosper you. I will monitor the time. You take the inward journey. If the mind wanders, it's okay. Be kind to your wandering mind. It's just doing what it's supposed to do. You have the opportunity to bring it back to our affirmative thought, divine love prospers me now. And then let the feeling of that wash over you and sink you deeper and deeper. Divine love prosperouses me now. It prosperouses all of us now. So let's take advantage of it now. With our eyelids still closed, we stand at the shore, open and receptive to the inflow of divine love and the eternal cycle of prosperity that is flowing to us. With our eyelids still closed, we honor the time we've given ourselves and we allow it to rewire what needs to be rewired, to release what needs to be released, so that we come back more alive and full of the prosperity that is automatically on its way to us. Remember to bring back this energy, this vibration, and carry it throughout the week. So let's make our gentle return now, maybe wiggling the fingers and the toes. Stop the movement, plant the palms on the tops of the thighs. Inhale, draw the shoulders up by the ears, nice and easy. Exhale, releasing the shoulder blades back and down. Inhale up. Nice and easy breath, releasing the shoulder blades back and down. Last time, inhale up. Releasing nice and easy, shoulder blades back and down. Bring the palms together at heart center, touching the thumbs into the sternum, that little bony ridge center of the chest. And if you are able, in a nice easy flow, bow the chin towards the fingertips, noticing the opening at the base of the neck all the way down the spine, and even feeling the feet connected to the floor and the earth beneath you. Gently allow the eyelids to open and find a familiar focal point, something nice and easy, no strain. Inhale, raise the chin, raise the gaze, release the breath, maintain the peace. Namaste.
Yes, yes. Namaste. Thank you, PY.
You're welcome.
So we are in masterclass mode. For those of you that may be joining us for the very first time, we are studying Open Your Mind to Prosperity by Catherine Ponder. And we are in the home stretch. We are in the final weeks. We're looking at prosperity through divine restoration. And we've been hearing from so many of you that this chapter has really hit home in some powerful ways. I've had direct conversations with some folks. We've had comments in the Prosperity Circle, comments on YouTube, emails, etc. There's so much healing here, and that's why we want to continue with this chapter to continue to illuminate all of the good that is here. Now, I also just want to remind you, we just shared it in the news and updates. Next week, with our closing, we're going to go through the conclusion, but we also want to share your story. So we know that there are some powerful prosperity stories as you have taken these teachings to heart and have begun to apply them to your own life. Powerful and wonderful demonstrations have already taken place. So you can scan that QR code. That'll take you directly to the forum, or you can go to our website, celebrationsc.org/register, click the button there that says share your masterclass story. And you can share your story with us. If you prefer, you can also share it via audio or video. The email address is there, but you can send it to truthsunday@celebrationsc.org. And again, we look forward to sharing these stories, and because we recognize that when you share your story, you're inspiring others to do the same. You're inspiring others to take their leap to their very own prosperity. And so, as we are talking about divine restoration, one of the things that we healed last week is this idea of loss, right? That actually, if you look in Webster's, the definition of loss is destruction and ruin. And so, when we say that we've lost something, we're affirming destruction and ruin. But the truth is, as we talked about last week, it's not that, the truth is there is nothing lost in spirit, right? It changes form, but you never lose your good. We cannot lose anything. And so we would love to hear from you all. You can share in the comments now, what belief about loss did you release last week? What was that aha moment for you? What and how have you shifted your language around this idea of loss? And so I'm going to get the book here up on the screen so that we can move
Also
forward.
remember that when we're talking about loss, if someone is going through a grieving process, if you're new this week or you didn't have the opportunity to watch last week, we're not talking about the grieving process of losing a loved one. Please move through your process, whatever time that takes. And we acknowledge that everyone is on their journey if that is happening in their lives right now. And so we want to honor that, make space for that, and we want to remember that our loved one may not physically be with us, and yet they are still with us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we pick up where we left off. Businessman gets better job. Does the decree of divine restoration work in a practical way? Yes. Decrees of restoration and divine fulfillment are among the fastest working prayers in the universe. Why? Because the universe is flowing with abundant good for all humankind. In fact, the universe has no higher function than to manifest its goodness for and through humanity, its highest creation. When you hold to the thought of gain, restoration, or fulfillment, you become a channel through which the universe is able to pour forth its abundant gain. So this is then why we can use an affirmation and program our mind to start to live from a habitual awareness that there is no loss in spirit, but there is gain, there is restoration, there is fulfillment in, through, and as all things. And so then you become a constant channel for life to flow where it sees there's an opening.
An open opportunity, yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Right. Okay. A businessman had been refused a number of pay raises and promotions, though employees with less seniority were being promoted and given general raises. It seemed a most unfair situation. This man had appealed to his superiors to no avail. It appeared that his good was lost completely in this situation. He was resentful and felt that great injustice had been done him. Then he learned of the great success law of divine restoration. He learned that his good, which seemed to have been withheld or even lost in the past and present, could still be restored to him. He decreed that his good had not been lost, but had only changed form. It was at this point that he realized he had gone as far as he really cared to go in his present position. In fact, he had outgrown his present form of good. For several years, he had been interested in another field of work, but it lacked the courage to make the change toward it, since it would mean starting at the bottom of the pay scale again. Nevertheless, as he called on the law of divine restoration to bring forth his good of past and present, an offer was made him to go into the desired field of work. This time, he found the courage to accept, though it meant a drastic reduction in immediate salary. As he continued to affirm that the good of past and present, which belonged to him by divine right, was now appearing, it did. Within a year, this man was making several times his top pay in his previous job. Furthermore, he had greater freedom, responsibility, and opportunity for self-expression than the previous job ever could have offered. His accumulated good poured in and piled up after he decreed and accepted it. The previously disappointing experience proved to be not loss, but gain. right? So this is beautiful. Once we start to understand what's really going on, then we can even take opportunities that would seem like a setback, right? Take opportunities that would seem like we're starting back at zero, right? That we're starting back at the beginning of the board of a game. I'm seeing a Monopoly board in my head right now. But actually, by going back with this new awareness changes things, right? And so within a year, it really collapsed time, right? Because one would imagine that under another set of thinking, it would have taken years to move up the pay scale as he did. But because he understood this powerful principle and this powerful law and applied it, because understanding it, we all understand it.
I
right?
was getting ready to say that.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, it's great to decree it, but you got to understand it, apply it, and then accept the good that's coming.
Former prisoner restored to good life. A businessman committed a crime and was imprisoned for a number of years. His fellow prisoners said, "Your life is ruined because of having been in prison. You are marked for life." This is unfortunately the thinking that happens for so many people who made a mistake, right? Who entered into an experience, right? Not living up to who they truly are. And then society has taught us to think and believe that then we're marked for life because of that. Just prior to completing his prison term and returning to the outside world, this man learned of the success law of divine restoration. Thank God. And he began decreeing that all the good which seemed to have been withheld during his years of imprisonment was being divinely restored to him. He decreed that he could still go forth to a good life in spite of his prison record. The forgiving love of Jesus Christ has set me free from the past and from results of mistakes of the past. I face the future wise, free, and unafraid. And let me say this now. Some of us are in prison even when we're not imprisoned, right? Right? So you might not be in the Department of Corrections. You might not be in a federal facility. But if you think about your life, you've imprisoned yourself because of past mistakes. You've withheld opportunities and allowed yourself not to go certain places or experience certain things because you feel like you're undeserving of them because of what you did, or you can't have those things because of what you did. And so it's important that you now start to practice this divine law of restoration and affirm that there's a forgiving love. Affirm the forgiving love of Jesus Christ if that feels good to you, but just the forgiving love of life itself, of God, or whatever name you choose to use for God, has set me free from the past.
And it's absolutely true. It doesn't feel that way sometimes. If we keep ruminating on what mistakes we've made, then those mistakes keep showing up in our present. But in fact, those mistakes are gone. The past is gone. It can touch me not, the Course of Miracles says.
Past
and
is
it's
over. Yeah.
It says both. It's over and it's gone. It's an understanding that that past is not happening now, but we keep thinking about it. We keep ruminating on it, and therefore we keep creating it. And so we then think it's still here, still impacting our ability to receive, still impacting our ability to move in prosperous ways and throughout our lives that way. But you're the only one who can decide, are you living in the past mistakes? Or are you free? I face the future wise, free, and unafraid.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The forgiving love has set me free from the past and from the results of mistakes of the past. I face the future wise, free, and unafraid. Upon being released from prison, he was immediately offered work in which he was skilled. Soon he accumulated enough money to go into business for himself. Within a year, after getting on the outside again, he happily married. His wife cared nothing about his prison record. Today, he is a happy, prosperous businessman, leading a normal life in a great contrast to his life of a few years ago. This man dared to recognize and claim in the present all of the blessings he did not know how to claim in the past. And Catherine Ponder uses that word often. I think it's helpful. Dared to recognize, right? That's what's required in embracing this path in totality, right? Because there's people living all sorts of ways out here in the world, right? Living in a way that is unlike the truth of who and what they are. And it is important. You have to dare to recognize and claim, right? And recognize, which means again, cognize, cognition, to know. Dare to know and know again, and know again, and claim it in the present, all the blessings he did not know how to claim in the past. He proved that no matter what mistakes or unfortunate experiences you have had in the past, you can still overcome them and make a comeback to a good way of life. This man proved another great truth, too, about locust periods of lack and unhappiness through which most of us pass. Just as vines that are pruned bear better and fuller fruits, so all periods of hardship, problems, and challenges through which you pass can be regarded as times of pruning. It's another way to think about those experiences. Greater good than you have ever known before can come to you after your locust experiences, if you but dare to behold the good in those experiences and learn and grow from them. Thus, locust periods need not be periods of failure or loss. A surface defeat may contain the germ of transcendent success, so there need be no defeat. Though there may be postponement, success often comes one step beyond failure. This, of course, reminds me of Napoleon Hill, right, where he writes that every failure contains within it the seed of its equivalent success. And this is, I think, a beautiful way to say that and affirm that. Surface defeat may contain the germ of transcendent success, so there need be no defeat. Since the trend of the soul is always upward and onward, locust periods can be times of gathering spiritual and mental forces together to go forward again. Sometimes when it seems you're going backwards, it is because you are gathering your forces to go forward. Those seemingly backward experiences give you depth, insight, and understanding you might never gain from the easier paths of life.
Yeah, and that's why when people think about growth, they think that it happens in a linear fashion. It does not. I love to think about it as a spiral, an upward spiral. Sometimes you come back around to things to gain more knowledge, wisdom, understanding, but it's not because you failed. It's because there's something for you to take with you as you continue to ascend.
The ancient secret of restoration. The ancients knew a secret about the universe that you should know too. When you are aware of this universal truth, you can turn failure into success, disappointment into increased understanding, and loss into gain. The secret is this: God, as a loving mother-father, has prepared unlimited, boundless good for each of God's children, including you. This good is eternal, ever available. It cannot be taken from you. When your good seems to have been withheld or taken, it is because your own attitudes and actions have withheld it. I had talked about this last week, that God doesn't take away our thinking, our beliefs, consciously and unconsciously, right? What we've accepted consciously and unconsciously. That's what blocks and takes away.
Or appears to take away.
Right.
Right.
Okay? It's because your own attitudes and actions have withheld it, not the attitudes or actions of others. There's the other thing. Oh, well, this person, they're the one blocking my good. They're the one that's standing in the way. But your own attitudes have caused the lack or have blocked the expression of your good. This universal good has countless ways of expressing, unless blocked by the thoughts of humanity. And so this is why the heart of new thought is this idea of thinking a new thought, right? Being aware of the thoughts that are withholding, the thoughts that are blocking, the thoughts that are destructive, the thoughts that are unloving, right? And removing and replacing those. And so that's what we're doing. We understand. And here's the thing. It's not about a single thought. It's a pattern of thought.
That's what I was going to say. Yep.
And much of this is unconscious. So no, you didn't consciously call in that unwanted experience you're experiencing right now. No, you didn't consciously choose that bad thing that happened last week or last night. That's not what we're saying. But we recognize that there is a pattern of thought, a flow of thought that contributes to the experiences that we have in our lives. And even when an unwanted experience happens, our thought is what colors that experience, right? So, things happen, right? You talked about the death of a loved one. Things happen. Job loss. Things happen. Breakups. Things happen, right? That's part of the human experience. But the meaning that we give to it, which is our thinking, that's what we're after, right? Because that's what will either cause us to thrive or to suffer. Since this unlimited good is your divine heritage, it forever awaits your recognition and claim. There's those two words again: recognition, re again, cognition, cognize, to know and know again. Your knowing and your claiming, your choosing, right? Acting as if you went to the store and bought it, claiming. Right? When you do claim it and call it forth, the good will appear. Furthermore, all the good that you have not recognized or claimed in the past has not been lost. It has become dammed up in the invisible, awaiting your recognition and claim of it. The good that seems lost from the past is still yours. It has been accumulating in the invisible, just like money, drawing interest in the bank. Your good still wants to manifest for you as present blessings of increased health, wealth, and happiness. Your good wants you as much as you want it.
Let that sink in. And so when it's saying claim your good, it's not saying beg for your good. It's not saying barter for your good.
Right.
It's just saying claim it.
Right. If you have a claim ticket,
You just walk up and you present the ticket, and there's no back and forth. Are you worthy of this?
Right.
You just, here's what this entitles me to.
Exactly. A couple of weeks ago, I talked about the idea of, for those of you who listen to and love the teachings of Abraham Hicks, which is something that's integral to what we teach here at CSC, right? Abraham talks about the vortex. This is exactly it. This is another explanation of the vortex. And it's very important to understand that you can't lose anything. Everything is there. It's in this invisible space, as she calls it, the vortex, as Abraham calls it, right? And it is like a bank that's drawing interest. You never lose it. And then your good wants you as much as you want it. It reminded me, I highlighted it because it reminded me of the song, right? It will find me. Everything I seek, it is seeking me. What I desire, it's desiring me, right? So I let go of doubt. I let go of worry. Why? Because it will find me, looking for me. My dreams are looking for me. It can still come to you. The more good you did not claim in the past, the more there is for you now. Knowing this, you can still claim every blessing in the present and future that you did not know how to claim in the past. Whatever has been taken from you can be divinely restored. This is why there's nothing lost in spirit. Every blessing, present and future, that you did not know. So there's the
know
grace.
How to claim.
Right.
I love that. That's
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
You did not know how to claim in the past. Maybe you weren't ready for it. Maybe you didn't even think you were worthy of it. Maybe you were afraid to claim it. Right? All of that is true.
Or just simply unaware.
Or unaware. You didn't know how to claim it.
Yeah. Didn't know it was possible. The first time I explained this ancient secret of restoration in a lecture, a housewife got so excited that she squealed with delight right in the midst of the lecture, and I had to stop speaking to an amused audience until she had calmed down. In the following months, she proved that her good from the past was not lost. So many new blessings came to her and her family that people asked, what is her secret? What great power for good has she turned on in her life? Where is her Aladdin's lamp? How divine restoration improved their lives. A widow in recent times had had a very troubled life. She was lonely, in debt, unhappy in her work, and dissatisfied with her life in general. While she had friends praying with her for freedom from all her problems, she neutralized their prayers as she continued moaning how harshly life had treated her.
You see that? The setup there, right? Unconsciously, she was used to that pattern of complaining, right?
Right. But it's important that the teaching there, you neutralize your prayers, right? So if you're out here affirming, praying, and nothing's happening, well, take a look. Are you also moaning and complaining about how bad life is? This is why we don't say things like life be lifing. We do not blaspheme life, right? The human experience is a human experience, but life is God and God is life.
And
Final, yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
she neutralized her prayers. She didn't, she, every time she would say, well, if they would pray, I am prosperous, and she says, well, no, I'm not. The universe has to respond to what she says. It's yes and amen. So all of that energy and love and excitement about what is possible just got neutralized.
So you're at a standstill.
You're at a standstill. And then you wonder why life ain't changing.
Finally, she realized that her own negative words were her worst enemy. She became silent about all the hard experiences she had in life and began to decree divine restoration as she daily dwelled on the biblical promise, I will restore to you the years which the swarming locusts have eaten, Joel 2:25. After she began praying the prayer of divine restoration, everything in her life changed. She received a promotion with a pay increase. A friend of long standing whom she had once aided decided to show appreciation by giving her $1,000. With this money, she paid off debts and began to feel financially freer. Soon she married after having been alone for 20 years. Truly, the years which the locusts had consumed were restored to her. And I love that. So she got silent, right? That means you're not going to be able to get in on those conversations. Y'all have heard me tell the story many times. It's So Cold in the D story. Right, at work, we used to sing and affirm that song. This was during 2008. Things were tough. Things were bad. There were layoffs. The housing crisis was happening, all of that stuff. And we would come to work jokingly and forming community around and camaraderie around It's So Cold in the D. How the hell are we going to keep peace? And then I realized that I was neutralizing my prayers by continuing to affirm that song, and not only that, build a mastermind with my colleagues around it. And so I had to get silent. And so I just kept my head down and just was buried in my computer when they kept talking about that stuff. I couldn't entertain that anymore. And what happened in that same year when nobody else got bonuses, I got a bonus, right? And so I know this works, right? So if you may think, oh, this is just some random woman that Catherine Ponder's talking about, I experienced the very same thing. I know it's real.
So think about those areas in your life where you need to become silent. When your friends, your girlfriends talking about how hard it is to date or whatever it is. No judgment of your friends. They don't have this understanding. They don't know what you now know. And so it's nothing against them. We've all been programmed to focus in on what we don't want and think that that will change it, but it doesn't. And so think about it, just do an audit of your life. Where are the areas that you need to become silent about what is going on, the unwanted, and in your mind, if nowhere else, affirm the truth of what you want.
Yeah. A businessman was heavily in debt and could see no way out. He had been in an accident and it had taken a year of recuperation before he returned to his business activities. Meanwhile, others, lacking his experience and knowledge, had to be relied upon to run his business. Though conscientious in their desire to help, they almost bankrupted him. Because of his large indebtedness and lack of sufficient collateral, this man had been unable to obtain a loan from the usual lending agencies to ease his situation. He declared, if I could obtain even $5,000 or $6,000, it would meet the most pressing debts and keep my business solvent until I could get the business moving forward again. Two definite attitudes prevailed which were keeping a solution from appearing. First, this man had sunk into discouragement and despair.
And you can see how that could happen. You could definitely see how that could happen.
There seemed no way out, nowhere to turn. Second, he felt a great sense of loss about the year he had been ill. He kept telling himself, if only I had not been in that accident, this would not have happened. I would still be prosperous. We on somebody's street sitting in somebody's couch right now. Because you probably might have affirmed it today or yesterday. If only I had not XYZ. If only this had not happened, then I would still be prosperous. Such attitudes are normal for people in debt, but attitudes have to be changed before situations can change. I'm going to say that again. Attitudes have to be changed before situations can change. Attitudes have to be changed before situations can change. Life works from within out. And so attitude, that's not just about positive thinking. That's not about just saying nice words and reading the right affirmations. It is a change of your mind. Attitudes have to be changed before situations can change.
And we often think that change has to take a long time. It's just simply the moment you become aware of this unwanted thought or this attitude, the energy of it in the room, you change, you shift.
It was suggested that this businessman affirm there is a divine solution to this situation. The divine solution is the sublime solution. I give thanks that the divine solution appears now.
Yes.
That affirmation changes your attitude.
This is me. I was ruminating. When I say ruminating, not in a good way, here's how to solve it. It was this particular situation I didn't see. And then the thought came to me, quickly, easily, and in peace. And I shifted my thinking to that little piece of Catherine Ponder, quickly, easily, and in peace. And guess what? An email popped up when I was getting ready this morning. The person I need to talk to help me make it happen easily, effortlessly, quickly, and in peace had responded to me on a Sunday morning.
There you go.
So it just takes a second to shift and keep focusing in on what you want it to be. That changes the vibration and the energy and the attitude around it. I wasn't expecting the email to pop up on a Sunday morning to a businessman that I don't know what his hours are, but it did.
Yep.
And he was like, "Good morning. Yes, I can do XYZ." I was like, wow, quickly, easily, and in peace.
So it is. For his feeling of loss about the year away from work, these ideas were suggested. Although it seems dismal at the moment, begin knowing that there need be no permanent loss in this experience. That which seems to have been lost during this year's illness can be divinely restored to you, financially and otherwise. To help him establish and maintain this attitude, these words were typed on a card for him to carry in his wallet. This is another wonderful tip, right? So make it the screensaver on your phone, on your computer, etc., right? So that you're implanting it in your mind, you're changing your attitude, you're remembering it and remembering it and remembering it. Daily, when a discouragement or a sense of loss began to envelop him, he was urged to read these words over and over. I give thanks for divine restoration in my business affairs. Divine restoration is now doing its perfect work for all involved, and the perfect results appear. I give thanks that every financial obligation is now being met in God's own wise and wonderful way. For a number of weeks, he daily decreed these ideas. No change seemed to be forthcoming at first, but he persisted in knowing that there was a solution. He persisted in claiming divine restoration. We've seen this over and over and over again. It's so important. It's just like when you plant a seed in the ground, right? There will not be any apparent change. If you recall, many of us did this in kindergarten, where we took a bean, right, and placed it in a cup so that we could watch what was happening, and we would watch it actually break open. But in the first moments, in the first hours, right, nothing happened, right? But then overnight, sometimes my memory is like after a weekend, being away, and then you come back on Monday, and it was like it had transformed, right? Something had happened, right? So no change seemed to be forthcoming at first, but we must persist. And in our persisting, we know that there's a solution. We persist in claiming divine restoration. Then one day, the picture changed. He and his wife attended a family reunion where his deceased brother's wife called him aside and said, "Years ago, when you first began buying into my husband's business, which later became your own, I felt that he overcharged you for the initial down payment. Now that he is gone, I no longer wish to retain the building that houses your business. I want to see financial restitution made to you for the large initial payment. An appraiser tells me that the building is worth $25,000 if I sell it outright. However, I will be happy to sell it to you for $10,000. Further appraisals revealed that this man could obtain a total loan of $16,000 after purchasing the building. He still had $6,000 to clear up pressing debts and have operating cash. As these affairs unfolded, he was filled with new hope and received increased business, which helped to bring order and prosperity out of previous chaos and failure. Divine restoration did take place for him after he began to believe that it could. Mm-hmm. This might be our last one for today. Decree of restoration begins new love. A divorced woman proved the power of decrees of restoration for bringing new love into her life. Her husband had left her with small children. It seemed an unhappy and disappointing experience. Her family urged her to sue him for non-support, and they spoke of him harshly. However, she refused to condemn him and told her family that she wanted to be free from all the bitter, unhappy, negative feelings that would be generated by further discussion of her unhappy marriage. She knew her husband had never found his true place in life and that he was still confused and uncertain about many things. She also knew that what she fought to get from him, she would have to fight to keep. Mm-hmm. Y'all remember that principle? I love that she's bringing it back.
She's bringing it back.
Right? What you fight to get,
you gotta fight.
You gotta fight to keep.
Gotta fight to keep.
Instead of negatively discussing the situation, she began affirming, "My good cannot be withheld from me. Somewhere, somehow, someday, the good that seems lost in this experience will be restored to me and to my children. Our good will still come to us at the right time, in the right way, through the right channels." The woman then returned to her career. Later, she heard from her former husband saying that he had joined the armed forces. He had advised that he had made an allotment to their children that they would receive monthly support payments, which they did. Later, he helped to pay for their education too. Meanwhile, this woman worked hard in her chosen career. Just as she reached the top, she met a fine man who gave her and her children the love, the emotional security, and the understanding that seemed to have been withheld from them in the past. Her decree had come true. The good that previously had seemed lost to her was now restored. Her good came with accrued interest at the right time, in the right way, through the right channels. Mm-hmm. A businessman lost his wife to another man. It seemed a bitter loss. One day this man read, "If the beloved were still thine, none could have removed the beloved. When the half-gods go, the gods arrive. I will restore." These words helped him to release the bitterness, disappointment, blame, and criticism he had felt about his wife's desertion. It helped him to gain peace of mind and look forward to divine restoration. In due time, he happily married again. Then he literally knew what had been meant by the promise, "I will restore." Let's go on to the next section. Mm-hmm. How to call on divine restoration. There is a saying, "What God has given cannot be diminished." Dare to look back on those experiences in your life when it seems your good did not come forth and boldly decree, "My good was not lost in that experience. The good can still reappear." Mm-hmm. A man looked back on an unhappy experience of 20 years before. He had always felt that his good was destroyed by other people in that experience. After learning of the prayer of divine restoration, he began decreeing for that troublesome memory, "My good was not lost in that experience. Somehow, my good will reappear." This is, again, I know so many of these stories and situations are meeting you right where you are. You know, it might not be 20 years ago. It might be 30 years ago. It might be 5 years ago. It might be 3 hours ago. Exactly. Right? And you feel like something or someone, right, destroyed your good. It's time to let that go so that you can bring it back in. My good was not lost in that experience. Somehow my good will reappear.
And you don't have to know the how.
No.
You just have to be willing for the how to show you, mm-hmm. to show up, mm-hmm. to reappear as your good. Mm-hmm.
Amazingly enough, it came through the very people who had acted badly toward him previously. They decided to do for him in the present what they had not done for him 2 decades before. Always there is a balancing, restoring power for good at work in every person and in every experience of loss. Your good of past and present can still appear when you adopt a new attitude and expect it to appear. It may still come through the situations or people who seemed previously to have wronged you. More often, though, your good will come in an entirely new experience, which will more than compensate for the old ones. As one writer has affirmed, "Other times and other men will do me justice."
I love that because we keep looking to the past way that the wrong happened mm-hmm. to be restored. Mm-hmm. And this is saying, And most often, that's not how it's going to work. It's going to come to you in another from another channel. But it's all from the same source of good.
There you go. There you go. And this last section is important, right? Because we're talking about divine restoration. And sometimes I think people misunderstand the idea of divine timing or God's timing. Here she talks about restoration comes under divine timing. Divine restoration comes in divine timing, however, not in human timing, which wants it right now, right? That's the microwave spirituality. Yes, I can put something in the microwave and heat it up in seconds, right? But that's not actually how things really work, right? I'm remembering in a sermon I shared years ago, I talked about even when it appears to be instant, if you think about a second contains 1,000 milliseconds. So that means there were 1,000 events that took place in what appears to be a second. So timing, right? There's still a pattern and path, multiple events that create what can even be a single second. It is an unfolding process. That divine timing sometimes comes at the end of an old cycle, or it may come at the beginning of a new one. Also, there are returning cycles when we again have a chance at an opportunity that we had previously let slip from us. That's why also nothing is lost in spirit. Right? In my own life, I have observed these returning cycles several times and have welcomed them as opportunities to compensate for previous blunders or sins or mistakes. Of omission.
Yes.
Thus, you should not be disturbed when an anticipated benefit does not become yours at some precise moment. Divine restoration is always at work, and at just the right moment, it will appear in divine timing. Instead of trying to force your good or past or present to you in the way you think best, open all channels by decreeing, my good is not lost. My good now appears in God's wise and perfect ways. Right? Because the divine has a vantage point that we don't have. And so this is why we want the highest and best outcome. Then let it come through whom it will. This attitude opens the way for endless good to come to you in endless ways. Declare often for this purpose. All doors are open. All channels are now free. The whole wide world says yes to me. You've ever heard us use that affirmation? It's a Catherine Ponder affirmation, right? We've used it for years. You can invoke divine restoration by decreeing often, I call on the power of divine restoration. My good of past and present is now divinely restored to me. All the blessings that should have been mine are still available to me in whatever present form is best. They have not been lost. They still come forth in God's own wise and perfect ways. I claim my present blessings too. The good that is for me now presses upon me, and I accept it. I am receiving now. I am receiving my highest good of mind, body, and affairs now. My accumulated good of past and present now pours forth into my life as rich blessings. This is the time of divine fulfillment. I welcome my accumulated good now. I give thanks for divine restoration in mind, body, and affairs. You can make that your daily prayer. Lord have mercy. If you speak that out loud and over yourself, every day for 21 to 30 days.
And any time where you feel like you're good, it is not arriving on your time. You got to remind yourself.
Yeah.
And this is a perfect affirmation, and he's right, a prayer, to do just that. This book is full of them. Pick one and use it.
Right. Persistently and deliberately with intention. With intention.
Don't be like, oh, I don't think that was it. Pick one. Prove to yourself that that one is working for you.
Yeah. Yeah. So we are at the close of this chapter. I want to remind everyone again, share your masterclass prosperity stories. You can go to our website, celebrationsc.org/register, or you can scan this QR code. We've shared it via email. We'll continue to share it via email into this week. Because we want to share those stories as we move into the conclusion, as we support you in your next steps, as we support you in continuing to integrate and live out the powerful lessons that we have studied together. This has been a powerful summer, and we know that powerful things have been, and prosperous things have been happening in, through, and as your lives. Well, in this moment, it is time for giving. And of course, it is easy to give to CSC. You can go to our website, celebrationsc.org/give, or you can text your dollar amount to 347-744-9500. You can also use the Church Center app, scan that QR code and download the app. And there's a give section there, and you can give that way. But no matter which option you choose, which is wonderful, right? Options are wonderful. What's important is the mental option that you choose. Mm-hmm. Are you claiming and recognizing that there is one source behind your resources? Are you claiming and recognizing that there is one source behind your streams of income? Are you claiming and recognizing and knowing again and giving from that place that God itself is the well that does not run dry? And that is what I give from. And so that's why I give in love, because I love to give. That's why I give in joy. And I'm keeping the channels of my good open. That's what's important. And when you give from that place, when you give from that awareness, then you can affirm this absolute truth. All the money that I circulate.
All the money that I circulate.
Returns to me multiplied.
Returns to me multiplied.
In a never-ending cycle.
In a never-ending cycle.
Of increase.
And
enjoyment.
And enjoyment.
To that we say amen.
Amen.
Ashe.
Ashe.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Yes, yes. Well, we are at the close of our service today, but we are not done because it is the third Sunday. And so we're going to move into the God Talk at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We would love for you all to join us. This is a wonderful space to ask questions. It is a healing space. It is raw. It is real. It is loving. But in order to ask the question, you got to be in the space. So let me put this back up on the screen. Here we go. If you're on our mailing list already, go to the email that goes out on Fridays. The information is there. The link to the Zoom is there. If you're not on our mailing list, if you text welcome to this phone number, 347-472-1078, just welcome, no additional messages or emojis, you'll receive an automated reply with a link. Click that link, enter your information, including your email address, which is very important. Submit that, and then go to your inbox. You'll see that there will be an email in your inbox with the Zoom information. Also, if you have the Church Center app already, if you go to the Church Center app on the homepage, there's a button there with a link with the God Talk information. So we look forward to seeing you all in just a little bit at 1 p.m. for the God Talk. For those that can't make the God Talk, we look forward to connecting on Wednesday for the Momentum Prayer Call. And of course, then we will be back together next Sunday to close out our masterclass, to close out our summer season, because this will be the last Sunday in August for us, as we'll be closed on the 5th Sunday. We're going to celebrate, but we're also going to integrate, right? So we look forward to seeing you all and continuing to grow and prosper with you all. Enjoy your Sunday. Enjoy your week. Keep thriving. Bye for now.
Bye for now. All doors are open, all channels.